This video is presented by EA Game Changers. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. As you guys saw from the title, today's video is another Sims 4 Cottage Living Expansion Pack Early Access video. So I hope you guys have been enjoying all of the builds with my early access that I've been sharing with you guys lately. If you guys haven't seen the other ones, I'll have them all linked down below. As always, I try to make all of my early access videos slightly different so that you can see the different type of build styles and different variety of how the items can be used in different ways in each of my builds. So I try to make each one of them a little bit different. So today's build, as you can see already, it is very different than what I would usually do. Firstly, terrain tools. You guys know I do not use terrain tools a lot because the simple reason of it kind of scares me. Yep, even someone like me who builds all the time, I am very intimidated by terrain tools, and sometimes I just can't be bothered to, to do it. And I feel like with terrain tools, you really have to think ahead with what you want to do, because sometimes when you make the terrain a certain height, it's hard to adjust it afterwards, and it's hard to make a lot of changes. And if the terrain isn't even, items are floating and stuff like that. So overall, sometimes terrain tools, if you're not super well versed in them, can be quite intimidating and quite a headache sometimes. So today, I really wanted to challenge myself with this build and build a family farm on a hill. So that's kind of the vision I had for this one. I wanted to utilize this massive lot. Also, it's a 50 by 40 lot, which I never build on huge lots like this. So who am I? I don't even know. But this pack obviously comes with a lot of really large lots because it is cottage living. You have farms and we're raising animals and cows and chickens and crops. You need a lot of property to do this kind of stuff. So I really like how they added in quite a few very oversized lots. There's one 64 by 64 lot, and I believe there are three 50 by 40 lots. So definitely a lot of very large lots. And then there's obviously the regular size, 30 by 20 and 30 by 40, all that good stuff. So definitely a big variety of lot sizes. If that's something you're into, there is lots of variety there. So I'm definitely very happy about that. So I think what has really urged me or really pushed me to use terrain tools is because the lot is so big. Usually I tend to build on smaller lots, 30 by 20 or 30 by 40, and there isn't really much opportunity in those size lots to do these crazy terrain manipulation, because the lot's kind of small. The hills kind of take up a lot of space, because there's a diagonal aspect to the hill that, technically takes up square footage on your lot. So really it's this large lot that really gave me the opportunity to be let's use all this space up and let's make this massive hill and put this house on a hill and do this cool tiered staircase up to the top of the home. So that's kind of what gave me that idea. And also, yeah, I just didn't think that I would be able to fill this entire lot otherwise, because it's really large. Even past the actual lot, there's just so much property around it as well. It just feels so vast, and you're on the countryside and you just have all this space and property, and you have tons of room for cows and llamas and chickens and stuff. It definitely feels like you're really in the farmland and kind of in the middle of nowhere, which I really love. And I think it's so beautiful and a nice little quiet lifestyle out here. So I thought that this would be a cool property that maybe the family was always farmers or something like that, and they have had this house and they've had this property in their family for many generations, and they've grown up raising chickens and cows and living off of their crops, and they're just kind of like locals, and they've been here for a long time, and they've raised their family here, and then like their children will move on and move out, but like somebody always holds down the fort and like lives here all the time and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be like a fun kind of like generational home where it's not like a ton of people live here, but like there's always some family member that like gets the home and it gets passed down because they're like a family of skilled farmers or something. I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have like the story behind this like big plot of land. But here you can see, because there was so much room on this property, I was also able to add an additional little like kind of mini barn house in the back corner there. So you can see like the beautiful like tiered staircase up to the top of the hill for the main home. But I thought like maybe if, you know, it's too tiring to like go all the way down the stairs, down the hill to go like take care of your animals. Like maybe one person is dedicated to taking care of the farm and the crops and the chickens and stuff in the early morning. So they like live in the barn house at the bottom. So you'll see me do the interior of that little small house later, but it's actually like a fully functional home as well. There's like a bathroom, a little mini kitchen, and a bedroom. So somebody could technically like live there full time, and you could like lock the doors and they could like live on the property or something like that. You can even like have a roommate in there or something and like rent it out. So it is like an additional little space for somebody to live, which I think is kind of fun. And then here you can see I'm just like doing the additional staircases. I love the tiered staircases going down the terrain, the hill. I just think that it looks so pretty. And also I must say that they improved the UI for the terrain tools. So they like made it a little bit different in terms of like how the terrain tools look. I can't really describe it. I'm not very good at describing it, but when you get the pre-patch update, which is going to be a base game free update for everybody, take a look at the UI for the terrain tools. It's a lot more intuitive in my opinion, which I think kind of pushed me to do a terrain tool build because it was just a lot more intuitive and simple for me to understand, and it was a little bit easier for me to manipulate the terrain to what I actually wanted. So if you are like me and you're somebody that stayed away from terrain tools at all costs and terrain manipulation, give it a second shot after you get the pre-patch base game update, because the new UI is definitely so intuitive and really allowed me to go outside my comfort zone and try something new like this. So highly recommend. I'm really glad they give us these like pre-patch updates and these small little quality of life updates, because it definitely makes a difference. It definitely makes a difference. But here you can see I've pretty much laid out and mapped out where everything is going to go on the lot. So like I said, the main home, top of the hill, in the kind of top left corner of the lot, we have the barn house for an additional sim on the back corner. And then on the kind of bottom ground level, we have 2 cow or llama sheds, and then 3 chicken coops, and then a ton of space to plant your crops. So those little like square crop little pieces of dirt that I placed down, those are perfect for like oversized crops. So you can still like plant normal seeds like on the grass like how you usually would, but if you want to plant oversized crops, you need to plant them on those actual like square patches that I placed down, because oversized crops won't just like grow on like the random grass like on the lawn. Like you have to have that particular patch. And then the oversized crops are useful for like entering into the competitions. Like there's weekly competitions in the little town square that you can participate in, and you might need oversized crops to win those competitions. So that's kind of where that comes into play. Also, when you grow crops, you can take them to the fairs and you can sell them for, I think it's like a 10% premium or something like that. So it can be more profitable as well. So overall, I'm very excited for this pack and just like the lifestyle behind this pack. I personally grew up like in the city, so I'm not very familiar at all with farming or living in the countryside, or even like raising animals, or even like gardening or planting anything whatsoever. Like a lot of my life I have been in an apartment, so we didn't even have like a front yard sometimes. So like I don't even know how to like plant like anything, to be honest. So if you grew up maybe like more outdoorsy and like had cows or chickens or something in like a nice property like this, let me know if this is something that could be accurate, like if this build is perhaps an accurate representation of like how the layout might be for like a countryside home. Please let me know. I'd love to have your feedback and hear your feedback. And also if you have any like photos or examples of builds that you want me to do and you want to submit them, feel free to DM them to me on my social media or in my Discord. It'll all be linked down below. I'd love to recreate some photos and make like a really accurate layout of like a nice farm for you guys. But yeah, this is kind of just like my interpretation of what I thought it could be. And yeah, also like a good way for me to test out some of the new objects and some of the new build assets and stuff. So I had a lot of fun, and I really liked how this build looked completely different than all of the other ones that I have done. Once again, I'll link those down below if you haven't seen them. But what I really thought was kind of fun is I used like the red shutters on the home, and I kind of wanted to play into the fact of like, you know, when I think of like a barn, I think of like a nice red barn, but I kind of modernized this lot a little bit and like painted the barn white and stuff. As you guys know, I tend to give my stuff a little bit of a modern twist, and I like love the color white. So I thought that I would kind of have a nod to like the red barn by maybe doing some red shutters instead, just to like incorporate that like nice red, like warm farm feel into this lot without actually having to go like full on red barn vibes, if you know what I mean. So I thought that the red shutters on the main house was very cute, and I really like how it's not like a bright fire engine red. It's like a nice little like burnt, light, faded red, maybe like over time it got faded in the sun, and it just looks so comfy and cozy and just so beautiful. And I really like the swatches that they've given us in this pack, especially for like the windows and the doors and all of the build assets. I think they are gorgeous. I think that I tend to not use color, but the colors that they provided for us are very usable and just very like pastel and faded and muted and just very, you know, not so in your face and totally like up my alley. So I'm very excited about those. Now here you can see I'm basically just putting a bunch of plants and stuff around the lot. Even though, you know, there's a lot of terrain tools going on here and there's a lot of different elevations, I still wanted to give it that like natural, like naturey feel with having a lot of plants growing on different levels and stuff like that. I wanted to put a lot of trees and stuff just to make it feel very lively and very like immersed into, you know, nature. They take care of their lawn, you guys. Like, they have this massive property. They really need to like take care of all of their plants and stuff. So I wanted it to look very lush and very luxurious in a sense. And I also wanted to test out this new pond tool here. As you can see, I've talked about the pond tool a little bit in my previous videos, but the pond tool is also a base game update that everyone is going to be getting. They've updated the pond tool to incorporate terrain tools into it. So now you have to lower the terrain into the ground using the terrain tool or the terrain elevation tool, and then you have to fill it with water. So it's just a nice way to have your ponds look more natural, more random, you know, make them different shapes and stuff. Instead of using like a perfect square box or something to make a pond, now you can have them be dynamic and shallow and deep and like different like elevations and stuff. So I think that that is a very, very nice upgrade that everyone's going to be getting that I didn't know I needed. To be honest, I didn't realize I needed a pond tool until they gave it to me, and now I'm like, yes, thank you for giving us this. It just makes it so much easier and so much more realistic, so we can actually make like ponds that are more natural, and we love that. So definitely stay tuned for more pond builds in the future. I can see people doing amazing builds with the new pond tool, like making like cool homes on the water, like surrounded by ponds and stuff. I don't know. I think it's going to be wild. It's going to be great. And I'm very, very excited for what you guys are going to do and what the community is going to do. But one thing I will say is I was not personally someone who is like overly excited about cottage living. Like, before I got my hands on this pack, I wasn't someone who's like really asking for farming or cottage living or anything like that. It's just like not something that I personally grew up with, so I'm not super familiar with how it would work. Like obviously I know like the stereotypical like, oh, a chicken coop and stuff, but I don't really like know the lifestyle personally, so I don't really know the routine of like how much work it actually takes to like raise chickens and how much work it takes to like clean their coops and actually like brush the cows and stuff like that. That's something that I'm not super familiar with, so I wasn't really sure what to expect with a pack like this. But I will say that it seems like they really like leaned into all of the aspects of cottage living, and I'm really excited to move my sim into like a house like this and really go through the pack and play it. And I'm super excited, especially it's because it's not something that I've personally experienced. Like I've experienced living in a condo for a lot of my life, so it's like a completely different thing. It's such an opposite way of life, so I'm excited to like move my sim self out of my San Myshuno condo and go to cottage living. But something that's kind of cool is they have introduced these lot challenges to the Sims. So this is also, I'm pretty sure, like a base game update. So instead of a lot trait, they have lot challenges. So anything that provides some form of difficulty to a lot will now be called a lot challenge. So you know how there's like lot traits like, oh, good lighting, which makes like painting easier and stuff like that, or like good schools in the area or something like that. That's a lot trait. But a lot challenge is something like off the grid. So if a build is off the grid, that's something that provides some sort of challenge to living there. Therefore, that's now called a lot challenge. So there's a distinction now. So something that's super cool is we have this new lot challenge, and I think it's called, I think I wrote it down somewhere. It's called simple living. So pretty much it means that you can't cook anything without like growing it first. You have to, like, if you want milk, you can't get milk from the fridge. You have to go milk the cow. If you want to make your eggs Benny, you have to go get the eggs from the chickens before you can make your breakfast and stuff like that. So it really puts a restriction on how you play the game, and I think that that is so awesome because I'm someone who really likes challenge focused gameplay and someone who needs like a little bit of pushback, a little bit of challenge to give my Sims like purpose. I'm not super into just like full-blown creativity storylines. I know some people are so amazing at that, but I'm more of a like challenge and goal focused game player. So having these lot challenges like the simple living lot challenge will definitely give a lot of purpose to my Sims to like have to have this really high functioning lot with lots of crops and lots of, you know, chickens and stuff like that so that I can like feed my family or something like that. So I think that that is a really cool aspect that adds a lot of good challenge based gameplay to people like me who, you know, kind of need that to push things along. There's also another lot challenge. I think it's called like foxes or something. It's something to do with foxes, and pretty much it means that if you enable that lot challenge, the foxes will come and try and like ruin your crops, much like real life. Like other wildlife can come in and ruin your crops and steal your eggs and stuff like that. So that's another lot challenge that you will be able to explore and have to navigate around and find solutions to make sure that the foxes aren't ruining your livelihood. So definitely very excited for the whole concept of lot challenges, and I hope that with future packs we always get a lot challenge of some sort, because I think that's a really great idea to add like a kind of challenge aspect to the Sims versus it just being completely open. But anyways, I've been talking about that for like way too long. Here you can see I'm working on the interior. So this interior, I'm gonna be honest, it was kind of a mess because I don't really know what I was thinking. But I just wasn't thinking. I just like made the kitchen so big and I didn't put a bathroom and I didn't put a bedroom. Isn't that weird? Like I just didn't think of it. I don't know why. It's kind of embarrassing. It's one of those like massive brain fart moments where I just like went in to furnish the home and I didn't put a bedroom or a bathroom. So I actually end up adding it in later. So you'll see me do it later. So don't worry. I come around. But if you're like screaming at the computer right now because I literally have not placed a bathroom or a bedroom, don't worry. I realized later. But you can see I'm doing the kitchen. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to do this little like breakfast nook thing. I know that's not functional because you can't like sit on a couch and eat on a table like that, but I kind of just like the look of it, so it's more for aesthetic versus actual function. However, if you do have like dine out or journey to Batu, you can add one of those booths and then it could be functional if you have those packs. But obviously I only have base game and the new cottage living pack in this recording, so that's not going to happen, but you can definitely swap that out if you want to. But I still think it looks pretty, and that's kind of what I was going for. I do add a full dining table on the other side of the kitchen too, so your Sims will still have a spot to actually like sit and eat. But I did go for the like all brown color scheme on the counters here, which is kind of shocking because I wouldn't usually go for these brown ones, but I figured like maybe this is a home that, you know, has been through a couple generations, so maybe the interior cabinets are a little bit darker and outdated perhaps. They've put a nice fresh coat of white paint over the walls, but you know, the cabinets are a little bit harder to change, so yeah. They're brown. They're all brown, and it's kind of one of those things where I just wanted to use a different color swatch in every single build I did, and I didn't want to repeat any color swatches because I wanted to give my builds variety. So yeah, today we went with the brown, you guys. But if you check out my other builds, you'll see that the counters come in tons of other pretty neutral and colorful swatches as well, so you definitely have a lot of flexibility there. But I did want to make a large kitchen here because, as you guys know, you guys have probably seen a lot of other videos talking about it, but this pack is definitely very focused around family cooking together and, you know, living off of your crops and stuff like that. So I definitely wanted to put a lot of emphasis on the kitchen because, you know, you can have like picnics and stuff. You can can your goods, like your crops. You can like have your pumpkins and then you can can them and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of things that you can do in the kitchen with this pack. So that's probably why my mind just went full force into like making a really intense kitchen, because there's so much like centered around food with this pack that's really what I wanted to focus on. And I was just really excited about the new kitchen stuff. Okay, you guys, I'll admit it, I just really like kitchen stuff, and we got really nice kitchen stuff here, so I couldn't resist. I just couldn't. But the other thing that's really pretty is we got 2 new fireplaces, which I think is so like generous. Like, what are they doing giving us 2 fireplaces? Like, who said they were allowed to do that? That is too much, but I'm not complaining. I am not. I'm happy. Thank goodness. We deserve it, you guys. We deserve it. We deserve 2 new fireplaces. But honestly, they're both really pretty. One is a bit more like brick themed, and then one's a little bit more like also brick themed. I don't know. You guys will have to take a look at them, I guess. Sorry, I'm like the worst person at describing one. One of them looks a little bit more cottagey, and the other one is a bit more like rectangular. That's probably the best explanation I can give, but hopefully you guys have already seen them. But yeah, here you can see is kind of hopefully where I soon realize that I haven't done a bedroom. It's too bad because the kitchen honestly looks really good like that. Like, it just looks so grand and big, and there's a lot of counter space, and it looks like you're gonna be able to cook a lot with your family and have like all your aunts and uncles and cousins and grandma in the kitchen around the counter. I wanted it to be like a really interactive experience where they're all like gathered around the island and stuff, like all watching people cook. But then I was like, oh wait, I need to add a bedroom. So yeah, here's where I add a bedroom. So I just like kind of improvise. Obviously this isn't an ideal sized bedroom by any means, but you gotta do what you gotta do when you're done pretty much 75% of the build and you haven't added a single bedroom. So it is what it is. It's fine though, because I feel like if this is an older home, maybe they wouldn't have had such huge bedrooms back in the day, maybe. So, you know, you take what you can get. You take what you can get. I also really like the like little patterned wallpapers that we got. They're not something that I can see myself using like all the time, but definitely in the context of this pack, it definitely goes with the vibes and it ties the entire room together. If you are having trouble with like furnishing these types of cottage homes, I would say kind of go for a lot of neutrals in the room and then pop one of those cool patterned wallpapers from the pack over all the walls, and like bam, all of a sudden it has like cottage vibes. So they definitely gave us a lot of good items to kind of aid in our decorating style to make sure that, you know, we can have our dream cottage bedrooms and stuff like that. But upstairs here, luckily I had, you know, room up here to put another bedroom. So I kind of did like a loft style bedroom. This is obviously like a master bedroom. I feel like maybe the story here is like only one family or one couple really keeps the home in the family. So the other children like move out or something really quickly, and you know, maybe the grandparents like hold down the fort and this is their room or something. I don't really know. Hopefully, like maybe you could add more beds up here. Honestly, if like you really want to play in this build, you can probably add a couple more beds. But don't forget, we also have the barn house down at the bottom of the property, so there is room for more Sims here. But yeah, if I had planned better, I probably would have added more bedrooms, but I did not. But here you can see I also put like a little easel and stuff like that. I thought it'd be nice if maybe like in their spare time they also like to paint and they have a little bit of an artsy side. It also kind of goes well with the new skill of cross stitching that we have gotten. It's a minor skill, cross stitching, so it only goes up to level 5, but pretty much you can like cross stitch, and you can also cross stitch from reference. So I thought maybe these people also were like painters, so they're kind of artsy on all fronts. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cute. But I will say I really, really love the pink swatch of that bed. I just think it's so pretty, and it's something that I totally would have wanted when I was a child, like having like the bright pink like floral bedspread on that beautiful metal silver bed frame. It's just like, it's such a dream. It's such a dream. But you can see is where I am putting the bathroom. So yes, I realized that I had no bathroom in the entire home, so I panicked and put one right here. So better late than never, you guys, right? Better late than never. Can you tell that I was like really exhausted from all of the filming for the early access content because my brain kind of stopped working? Yeah, it happens to the best of us, you guys. It happens to the best of us. But I really do love the like new kitchen sink that also works really great in the bathroom here. It's like a nice giant big farmhouse sink. It's really great. And I know I've said this before, but I do think that this pack pairs very well with the base game objects. So definitely if you are someone that has no packs at all, you only have base game, or you're looking to get started into The Sims, this pack is something that will pair really well with the base game, and you definitely will be able to like use the items really well and integrate them really well with base game, because I only had base game and the new pack for my early access, and I could still find a lot of different combinations and different design styles and color schemes that worked really well with each other. So definitely consider this pack if it's something that you are interested in. But now we are working on the barn house kind of barn area down at the bottom of the property. Again, I was going for a little bit of an updated, renovated look, so it's a little bit small, but that's because it's just like a little extra home. But I figured like maybe this home used to be red, but then they painted over it with like a slight like white coat of paint just to freshen it up, as it has gotten a little bit more raggedy over the years. So yeah, I wanted to give it a little bit more of an updated, modern look. I was thinking about not giving it a bathroom, but then I was like, you know what? It's not going to be great if the people who are sleeping here have to walk all the way up the hill to go upstairs just to use the bathroom. So I did decide to make this entire little barn home like a completely functional home, which I think is really great because it gives you guys a lot of opportunity for storytelling if you want to have like a roommate, or if you want to have like maybe like a, I don't know, like a butler. Like I don't really know how farms work, but the teenager will like live here and they get to live at home, but the condition is they have to work on the farm and wake up at 5 a.m. and like milk the cows and stuff like that. So I don't know. there's a lot of different options here, but I think that is a nice little bonus room that I was happy to make. And also I had the opportunity to use even more color swatches of the kitchen furniture. So here you can see I used the light green swatch, which I think is a really, really beautiful one. Also, I will be doing a comparison between country kitchen and cottage living, because I know that when I first looked at the kitchen stuff in this pack, I was like, this looks so similar to country kitchen. In fact, it's so similar that I get the names mixed up. So stay tuned on my channel for a comparison video. I might do a short or something like that. So yeah, in case you're wondering my thoughts and opinions on the differences, yeah, stay tuned to that. But besides that, I'm sure you guys have been watching many cottage living videos from other game changers, as well as perhaps the past 2 videos that I have already posted. I want to know down below in the comments, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited were you when the pack was first announced? And then after watching these videos, has that rating changed? Because for me, I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, I was a 6 or 7 excitement level when the pack was announced, but then after I've played with it, I would say that my excitement level has gone up to a 10 by now because there's so much more to offer than initially what you would expect initially from the trailer. So yeah, I'm interested to know what your guys' thoughts are and how your excitement levels have changed through watching these videos, and if you're gonna buy it, or if you're gonna wait for a sale, or if you have another pack you'd rather buy that's on the list, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. I'm definitely very curious to know. And also, if you have any build suggestions whatsoever, if you have a pack that you want me to pair this pack with, do a build with cottage living and seasons only or something like that, let me know what your guys' requests are. I'd be happy to accommodate, or if you have any specific room requests you want me to do, just anything. I'm super happy to add it to the list and do those videos for you guys. So please give me your feedback, and thank you guys so much for being so supportive on my channel for the past couple of months. We are almost at 75,000 subscribers, which is actually wild, because I feel we just started 2021 with we just hit 50K in 2021. So I don't really know what's going on, but thank you guys so much. If you guys don't know, this isn't my full-time job. I do work full-time, so this is just my passion project and something I love doing on the side. So it means the world to me that you guys are supporting and enjoying my videos, and I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. So yes, sorry, I just wanted to say that. But anyways, we are nearing the end of the video. I am just kind of finishing up in this little barn home. I went for a little bit of green and brown theme. I don't know, I feel it's very cozy and open. I also gave a little desk with a little what is it called, computer thing, so the sim here can still keep themselves entertained. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could probably squeeze a little mini TV somewhere or around here. I don't really know, in case you want to give your sims a couple more activities, but I'm sure they will be very preoccupied taking care of the farm. So there's not much time for watching TV now, is there? They have a big farm. There's a lot of property here to maintain, so I'm sure they're going to be very busy. But one little hint I will give you guys is, if you do have a farm or a property as large as this with the new pack, definitely get one llama in one of the animal sheds, because the llamas will protect your crops in your farm from foxes trying to steal your crops and steal your chickens and stuff. So definitely get a llama for protection. Llama patrol, you guys. The llamas will save our farm. But besides that, the video is done and these screenshots are rolling, which means it's time for me to get out of here. I am personally super proud of this build and how far I took it with the terrain tools, because it's something that I've never really done before. So I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up and leave a comment down below what you thought about it. And if this was our first time meeting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be friends, or if you want to see more Sims 4 videos. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye everybody.